Good morning, students. Welcome to my lessons on homophones and homonyms. Is it affect or effect? I always say this is the most trickiest question, especially for English language learners, and also for native speakers as well. I had trouble with this particular kind of word, or words, I should say, when I was smaller. And by practicing and using them in sentences, I was able to grasp the concept of how to use affect or effect, and effects, sorry. So that my next slide here shows what are homophones and homonyms. Well, they both sound the same, but the following definition should help students clarify what the difference between homophones and homonyms, because they both start with H and they both have the H sound. So I will go ahead and define them. Homophones sound alike, but they are spelled differently, and homonyms sound alike and are spelled alike. I think for ESL learners, homonyms are more of a challenge because they don't necessarily understand why bear is used in two different ways. Because in some languages, one word just means one definition. But in this case, for example, bear, this could mean the actual animal, or I can't bear the feeling or the sound of a fork screeching on a plate, because I really can't bear the feeling of that. It really hurts my ears. So I think most of the time this homonyms are the most challenging. And so in my following slides, I'm going to show examples of homophones and homonyms. So let's go on to the next slide. Some examples of some homophones. Number 1, the medicine did not affect her the way the doctor had hoped. The new medicine had negative side effects. So in the first sentence, I always feel like affect with an A means the way it will affect someone. So if I were to drink a lot of alcohol the night before, it would affect me a certain way. I would feel a certain way. So I associate affect, again, affect spelled with an A, for a feeling. Number 2, the new medicine had negative side effects. I always associate that feeling with the way something will make me feel. Not the feeling itself, but how the medicine, the kind of effects the medicine has. So again, first, affect with an A is the feeling. 2, affect with an E. And again, they're pronounced the same, affect and effect. The medicine effects, the medicine affects. Actually, they sound differently. But again, it is very tricky because they are spelled almost the same way. All right, number 3. I will start to accept donations. This one, they do sound more alike, accept and accept. So number 4, you can donate everything except big furniture items. So in the first one, it means to accept something. I will accept this money. And then number 4, everything except, that means like without big furniture items. No big furniture items allowed. So in this case, it is tricky because they both do sound very similar. So examples of homonyms, the word bear, as I used in my earlier example, the bear lived in the woods. I can hardly bear the excitement. And then here we have the example, the word pen. Pen the animals in the coral. Write your name with a blue pen. So this is tricky because they're literally spelled the same way, and they sound the same. The pronunciation, bear and pen, they're the same. But sorry, they're not the same. But the one word is used in two different ways. That's what makes homonyms, I think, a little bit more challenging. So here in my next slide, I decided to put in a chart so my students can give me some examples of using 2 of these homophones that I put in the chart. So my students volunteered in the next slide to give me some examples, and the following slide will show the examples. So here are my two students who volunteered to give me examples. Student A, I walked the same way the girl walked. Student A also gave me another example. The dog weighs 40 pounds. Student A, yay, good job, used weigh this perfectly. So again, they sound the same, but in this case, they are written differently. So I walked the same way the girl walked. We're talking about a location and a direction. Number 2, the dog weighs 40 pounds. Here we are talking about the weight of something, the weight of an item, in this case, a dog. Student B gave me another example and used, where is it? Mail. So, student B, I received some important mail the other day. Number 2, the tall male standing in the corner was Vanessa's blind date. Now, here, I received some important mail. That's correct. We're talking about mail that we receive in the mailbox from the mailman. And number 2, the tall male, we're talking about an actual human being, standing in the corner was Vanessa's blind date. So yay for student A and student B for giving me some good examples of homophones and how we use them. And again, the pronunciation is exactly the same. Weigh, weighs, mail, mail. They are two different words though, and remember, two different definitions. I also want to go back to my other slide that had affect and effect. I feel like in this case, the homophones are pronounced differently, at least for me, because I say affect with an A as affect, with an sound comes out, as opposed to the side effects. I feel like I say it with more of an E, side effects, so an E sound comes out. But in other cases, homophones are pronounced the same. But I feel like with affect and effect, they're pronounced differently. I don't know if it's just me that pronounces it that way, but I feel like for the most part, it's pronounced differently. All right, let's go to the chart of homonyms that I provided. So a fly, so the fly that flies around your plate of food, that annoying fly that you want to just smack. And then flying, you actually fly in the airplane, or you see a bird flying in the sky. Ring, the telephone is ringing early in the morning. And then an actual ring that's on your finger. So the object. So that we have the sound ring and then the object ring. Something. All right. So we again had two volunteers, my two students, student A and student B,